Welcome back to Kean University. Matt Shortis with you on this championship Saturday morning, the first of 12 games across New Jersey that will be covered by News 12 Varsity from the 3 different sites, of course here at Kean, Rutgers, and MetLife Stadium. And a great slate of football championship games, and we started off today, this morning at Kean University, between Shabazz and Weequahic. Weequahic coming in the number 1 seed in this bracket here at 9-2, despite one of those losses being to Shabazz. Shabazz at 11-0, they are the number 2 seed. And it's Weequahic kicking it away to begin this game. They are in the brown tops, white pants, kind of looking like the Cleveland Browns, except white helmets. And Shabazz in the all yellows with bold black numbers. These two teams met on Thanksgiving just 10 days ago in the Soul Bowl. And perhaps they were keeping things pretty close to the vest. It was a 7-0 final. There are two teams that can put some points on the board. Kick received by Michael Fields at the 20-yard line. Fields spun down at the 30, and that's where he'll take over. Darnell Grant is the head coach of Shabazz. He's in his 8th season trying to guide the Bulldogs to their 2nd sectional title, the first one coming in 2014 over Dunellen. Weequahic trying to win their 2nd consecutive sectional title. They beat Shabazz a year ago. As Weequahic is guided by Brian Logan in his 7th season, and the officials, well, we got a penalty before the ball is even snapped on our first play of the game. So not a way you want to start off if you're the Bulldogs offense. Anthony Travis Jr. leads them onto the field, 88 for 143, almost 1,800 yards through the air. They give it to Fields right away, and he's strung out, and it goes for a loss of 4. Tremendous job in coverage. I am Venable with the stop. And Michael Fields limited for a loss of 4. We talked about it in that Thanksgiving Day game. Fields had over 100 yards rushing and the only touchdown. Fields, a senior running back, and another flag down. Boy, Shabazz all out of sync to begin this game. 2 penalties on their opening drive, and they are going in all the wrong direction right now. Make it 2nd down and 21. Man in motion. Give it to the near side. Some running room now for Sean Saunders, and Saunders taken down at the 25-yard line. It was Unique Woodard on the tackle, and that'll make it 3rd down and 15. Again, this Shabazz offense averages over 30 points per game. Penalties biting them, though, on the opening drive. 3 wide receivers. Travis Jr. in shotgun. Dancing around in the pocket. He's shuttled out, dumps it off to Fields. Fields can't hold on to it, and it falls incomplete, so Shabazz will be forced to punt. So not exactly the way Shabazz would have liked their first series to go. The Bulldogs, 2 penalties, a tackle for loss, an incomplete pass, and they go 3 and out. Shakur Williams on to kick it away. Line drive kick taken at the 45-yard line. A good pursuit, open field tackle by David Ordison to limit the return of Tyler Phillips. So Jerron Phillips, the freshman quarterback for Weequahic, leads them onto the field. 30 of 42 on the season, thrown for a little over 600 yards and 7 touchdowns. But again, this offense is stirred and moved by the 2 running backs, Robert Leverett and Charles Brutton. They open up with 3 receivers to the near side. Good starting field position for Weequahic. And a flag down here on false start. So both teams off to some jumpy starts. Championship game, early morning start, 10 a.m. on a Saturday. Some butterflies. So a procedure penalty on Weequahic. And that'll back them up 5 yards. So we've had more penalties than minutes elapsed in the game so far. Make it 1st and 15. Give right up the gut. Shut down by Shabazz. The 2 interior defensive linemen giving nothing for the Bulldogs. Nafis Wright making the stop. So both teams struggling a little bit to find the offense early on here. Phillips in shotgun, coverage changes, ball's dropped, and Shabazz has got it. Shabazz recovers the fumble. Michael Fields fell right on top of it. And a turnover has given the Bulldogs excellent field position here early in the first. Well, it was simply just a missed exchange between Jerron Phillips and the tailback. Simple as that. Fields, by the time that ball hit the turf, he was already in the defensive backfield and able to gobble on top of it. Give to Fields now. Fields dancing between the tackles, battles his way down to the 31-yard line. And really for the first time today for either team, a play resulting in some positive yardage. We've played 3 minutes here in the opening quarter. Shabazz driving off the fumble recovery. And a whistle and timeout taken by Weequahic. Again, a full slate of games for you today on News 12 Varsity from all 3 sites. You've got this one to begin, Weequahic and Shabazz, and the next one coming up here from Kane University should be a tremendous one as well, between St. Joe's, Montvale, and DePaul in the non-public Group 3 final at 1 o'clock. The other 2 games coming up from Kane at 4 o'clock. It's Point Pleasant Beach and Middlesex. And the nightcap here, Pompton Lakes and Hasbrook Heights. And those all from Kane today. So Weequahic out of the timeout. Man in motion, the give to Fields again on a delayed handoff, and Fields take it down hard. Jumping up and making the tackle was Jerron Phillips. So that'll bring up 3rd down. Loaded set in the backfield now for Travis. Fields the deep back on 3rd down and somewhat long. Fields looking down the field. He's got a receiver. It's complete. It's a touchdown for Shabazz. Sean Saunders streaking down the far sideline. Set up a little play action, did Anthony Travis, and Saunders just using his speed to beat the defender. Reached out and grabbed that. And Shabazz is on the board first. They capitalize off the fumble by Weequahic. Santos on for the PAT. And it is good. So the first downfield pass attempt of the game for either team, and Shabazz connects the 36-yard. That drive just took 36 yards. Shallow kick, that goes out of bounds, so that will be another penalty. So far, Shabazz in the playoffs, they're cruising through offensively. Taking down Newark Collegiate 45-0 in the first round. Roselle Park 27-6. And then they reinserted the Weequahic game on Thanksgiving. Travis was 5 of 14 for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns in that semifinal game. And both teams just having a whole lot of trouble keeping the laundry in the officials' pockets. Handoff goes up the gut, and they get the 5 yards back, +1 for Charles Brutton.
The handoff to number 3, Charles Bruton, brought down by number 5.
Charles Bruton, a junior tailback. Loaded backfield with 3 backs in the backfield for Weequahic, and the ball's on the ground again. Unfortunately for Weequahic, they are able to fall on top of it. So it's been a very rocky beginning for the top seed in this tournament. Weequahic. A couple of penalties on the opening drive and the fumble lost. They give up the touchdown to Shabazz after that. And now they're facing 3rd down and 9 because of another penalty and a fumble. So they give up the gut on 3rd down and 9. And that'll bring up 4th down. And Weequahic will be forced to punt. So Shabazz's defense looking stellar so far. Low kick, and it hits the back of a Weequahic player. Now technically that looked like it hit them at the 45, so the ball really should be spotted there. But it will just be at the 41. So last time Shabazz got the ball, it was on the Weequahic 36. Here they get it on the Weequahic 41. So tremendous starting field position a couple times so far through this first quarter now. Two receivers to the far side. DeJean Carr, they give it off to Fields. He runs left. Fields behind the left side of that line. Good block provided by Marquise Conception.
On the stop, number 9.
Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Also there, number 78.
And after the rocky beginning for Shabazz, where they have a couple penalties on the opening drive, they get a touchdown on the very next possession, and they seem to be in business here again. Some motion, and we'll see who moved first. And it was Weequahic. So right now, Brian Logan's got to be scratching his head saying, what are we doing, guys?
The penalty makes it 2nd and 1.
We've gotten to this point in the season, and we're playing some very undisciplined football in this first quarter. Makes it 2nd down and 1 now for the Bulldogs. Shabazz, the give to Fields. Fields finds a hole up the gut down to the 20-yard line and finally take it down at around the 18. Pickup of 13 on 2nd and 1 for Michael Fields.
Number 5 along with number 1, Quaison Horn. 1st down Bulldogs. Walking up front was Shiggs, 57. Isaiah was Derek, number 56, and Hollins, 55.
Change of pace now as Shabazz brings in Nasir Collins into the backfield. Pardon me, Cyrus Harbin the 4th.
Number 8 on the carry.
So Harbin carried that for a loss of 1, and we're going to have a timeout, it looks like.
52 on defense.
So Shabazz on the timeout.
4:17 remaining. Shabazz uses a timeout. We'd like to welcome South Ward Councilman John Sharp James in attendance. Welcome.
And Shabazz defensively, they've got 4 shutouts on the season, including the game on Thanksgiving against Weequahic. We talked about Shabazz. The last time they won a championship was 2014 on this field, actually. But for the last time for them to be undefeated, you got to go back to 1966 when they finished the season at 7-0. So Harbin remains in the backfield. Play action. They look over the middle and complete to Ordenson, and he's spun down, but not before he's in the end zone for a touchdown.
Anthony Travis to David Ortison over the middle.
So David Ortison has the second receiving touchdown of the game.
Lead here in the first quarter.
And for the second straight possession, the short field works to the advantage of the Bulldogs. Point away from going up 14-0, 8 minutes into the first quarter. Santos on for the PAT. And it is good.
Bulldogs 14, Indians nothing.
Well, you see why Travis has put up some of the numbers that he has. Now over 1,800 yards on the season. His highest game of the year throwing-wise, or yardage-wise, would have been the last game of the regular season where he threw for 363 yards and 4 scores against Cedar Grove. They don't ask him to throw a ton. In the Newark Collegiate game and Roselle Park games combined, he just had 10 completions.
Kicking off number 33, Elliott.
But what he does do is make them count. He's thrown the ball only 3 times today. 2 of them have gone for touchdowns. Venable back deep to receive the kick for Weequahic. And there's Tyler Phillips. Phillips with a burst of speed before the first contact comes in the form of Nafis Wright. So Wright brings him down, and Weequahic's got to find something offensively. The first thing they got to do is make sure they're not jumping early and playing penalty-free football. Then they got to figure out what to do against the Shabazz defense that's limited them so far. Led by David Ortison, who just had the touchdown reception. He's got 93 tackles and 14 sacks on the year. That's Nazir Peters into the game at quarterback for Weequahic. Peters throws an interception right at midfield, taken away by Shabazz. Shakir Pearson forcing the second interception, or the second turnover of the game against Weequahic.
16 yards on the return of the interception.
And right now, the white and brown has more questions than answers as they're struggling to find something. Nazir Peters, the junior quarterback who had just come in on his first pass of the game, he throws it deep and for an interception. So Shabazz back in business. And we'll get a timeout by Weequahic. So Weequahic with 3:51 to go in the first, already using their second timeout of the half. You've had essentially 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You know who you're playing against. You saw Shabazz 10 days ago on Thanksgiving, but Weequahic just seems discombobulated right now, not on the same page. I don't know what the best way to describe it would be. Especially a team that won a championship a year ago against Shabazz. You'd feel like the moment wouldn't really overwhelm them. Now granted, Dron Phillips, a freshman quarterback, he had one of the miscues. But a lot of these other guys have been here for Weequahic. Shabazz taken back over on the 39. I switch over, they go power formation to the right side. They give left side now for Dijon Carr. Carr with a hole, Carr streaking down the left sideline to the 10, tries to cut back in, and he's clipped down there. A 33-yard gain for Carr. And just like that, the Bulldogs are within striking distance of going up 21-0 here in the first quarter. So first and goal for Darnell Grant's crew. Flag down. I think this one's coming back 5 yards for Shabazz. So offsides.
Ball at the 11-yard line of the Indians.
So that slides it back to the 11-yard line. Yusef Mapp, a fullback, sliding over to the right side as an extra blocker. They give it to Fields. Fields doesn't have much room to run. He takes it up the gut. He wanted to run left, but Quaison Horn was coming off the edge, unblocked and undetected. So he gets a couple, makes it 2nd and goal from the 9 now. 2.5 to go in the first quarter. Shabazz leading 14-0. Starting in Weequahic territory for the 3rd time in the quarter. Travis in shotgun. And I don't know what's going on with Weequahic. I mean, I don't even think there was a hard count there. Travis stepped up a little bit. He kind of came out of a crouched position. Snap off. Shabazz. I don't know if they were in, but either way, Weequahic had 12 guys technically on the field. Because Ajaboy Kafour Tamelin was coming off. He wasn't off the field yet. The officials missed it though. So it'll be 3rd down and goal from the 1-yard line. Cyrus Harbin is the deep back. It'll be a keeper for Travis Jr., and he leans his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Shabazz. And it's been all Bulldogs here in the first quarter with 1:23 to go. Santos on for the point after. Perfect 3 for 3 today for Santos. And Shabazz is cruising here to begin this game. Capitalizing off 2 Weequahic turnovers. They've scored 14 points off those 2 turnovers. And after the very uneasy start for the Bulldogs, remember they got the ball first. They had 2 penalties in the opening drive, including a tackle for a loss, so they ended up losing 11 yards on the first drive of the game. They kick it away, but they've created a couple of turnovers since then. And they're in business. Weequahic in a hurry just to get the ball back, and Shabazz meeting as a whole team around the coaching staff. The entire sideline just huddled up for Shabazz. Robert Leverett back to receive the kick, as is Tyler Phillips. Shallow kick. Phillips has a bounce in front of him, picks it up at the 25-yard line, and Phillips cut down at the 30.
5-yard return by Phillips.
You know, if it's loud on the Shabazz sideline, you look across the field from where we are in the stands, the left side of the stands, the band, the kick line for Shabazz. They're having a good old time out there. They've been loud and have not stopped since the game has begun. So 1:17 to go in the first quarter, and Weequahic just trying to find something positive. Phillips on a pump fake. He's flushed out of the pocket. Phillips finds Tyler Phillips. Jerron Phillips finding Tyler, and that is a big first down for Weequahic, just to get something in a positive direction, trailing 21-0. After the way they've struggled offensively in this first quarter with the 2 turnovers. So Jerron Phillips, the freshman quarterback, in the backfield. Shabazz sending the house, and Phillips goes down. Nafis Wright on the tackle. It's no gain, so not officially a sack. It's 2nd down and 10. Final seconds of the first quarter. There's 5 seconds left. We'll see if Weequahic is able to get this play off. Phillips, as time runs out. Phillips scrambling now. Phillips is taken down for a sack by Shabazz. David Ortison with his team-leading 15th sack of the season. And Weequahic, what a way to end the first quarter. They're still looking for answers. It's Shabazz, all Bulldogs right now, 21-0 with a quarter in the books.
Welcome Weequahic cheerleaders and the Shabazz Bulldog cheerleading squad under the direction of Shamir Jones. Again, coming up at halftime, the Shabazz High School Marching Band. Following the first play of the second quarter will be 30-17 at the 34.
After the sack, it's 3rd down and 17 for Weequahic as we begin the second quarter. 21-0 Shabazz leading. Scoring 14 points off 2 Weequahic turnovers. In some trouble again, Shabazz continues defensively.
Pressure in the backfield. David Ortison, number 2 on the hit.
Artison again. Now 2 consecutive sacks for David Artison, the senior linebacker. A loss of 5, and Weequahic will have to punt. Tyler Phillips will send it away. And Cyrus Harbin Back to receive. Harbin thought he called for a fair catch, but instead, this is Dejan Carr. Carr gets out to midfield. And that's where Shabazz will take over. And that is the worst starting field position that they have had in their last 4 possessions as Shabazz. So the Bulldogs take over right at midfield. Again, looking for their first undefeated season since 1966 when they were 7-0. Man in motion is Carr. Trying to go right side, looking deep for Nazir Collins. And a tad bit overthrown. I mean, why not? You're up 21-0. Darnell Grant says, we're at midfield. We've been moving the ball pretty well. Let's take a shot and see what happens. And Nazir Collins had his man beat. It was just touched overthrown. If we look at the uprights here at Kane University, there's no wind there, but there's some flags on the far bleachers that are slightly whipping around. Give up the gut to Fields. Fields has almost nowhere to go. Tackled by Samir Craighead. So 3rd down and 8. And that's what we see now. 3 receivers near side for Shabazz. It's Dejan Carr in the slot near side. High snap. Plenty of time. And now Travis flushed out. Travis able to just get rid of it. Finds the hands of Saunders, but Saunders will be stopped for a loss of 7. So Weequahic's defense comes up with a much-needed stop just to give this offense a little bit of a chance. And Shabazz will punt for just the 2nd time today now. And Weequahic is going to use their final timeout of the first half with 9:34 to go. So there has been a lot from Brian Logan trying to get his team on the same page, trying to settle them down after this very rocky beginning. And Logan has been forced a couple times to call timeouts just to kind of get his team together.
NJSIAA provides 32 state championships in different sports for both boys and girls. That number is the most of any state association in the United States. Bulldogs in punt formation, back deep for the Indians. Tyler Phillips standing at the 25.
So Tyler Phillips is back for Weequahic. Almost blocked. A low line drive kick takes a Shabazz bounce down at the 22-yard line, and that's where Weequahic will gain possession at 9:22 left in the first half, with Shabazz leading 21-0. give up the gut for Tyler Phillips. And Weequahic, you could start to see the confidence build a little bit. They get one defensive stop. They had a couple good offensive net positive plays towards the end of that first quarter and to begin this second quarter. And now they've got a second and short. Upended. Hard challenge and a hard tackle by David Ordison. Boy, he has been all over the place so far in this game as Charles Bruton had nowhere to go. It goes for a loss, and now a very big third down coming up for Weequahic, where it looked like on second and short they'd be able to cruise to a first down and keep this drive going. A big tackle by Ordison has that mitigated. Wrapped up, and this one's going to be short. The initial stop was made by Cummings, and the cavalry came after that as Tyler Phillips was not able to, at least from my view here, get the first down. They're going to bring it out. They're going to bring the chains out to measure. Now that looks like a pretty favorable spot from where Phillips was taken down. They may have it. And a big measurement here. That's going to be short by about half a football, maybe a whole football. So now it's an interesting decision for Brian Logan, because, you know, if you decide to go for it here and you don't get it, the way Shabazz has moved the ball with a short field, you're essentially giving them another touchdown. Well, Shabazz going to call a timeout here. They only had 10 guys on the field. So fourth down and short for Weequahic. Trying to get a little offense going, and they get the fourth down. They needed about half a yard, and they got 3. And Weequahic finally getting some offense going. A huge push from Dio Desua. You knew this offense, with the way that they've run the football, they would finally get something going. They have 2,000-yard rushers, and Bruton and Leverett. And they're finally starting to get a little push off the line of attack now. Approaching the midway point of the second quarter, 2nd down and 4. Well, Shabazz has that snuffed out. Limiting the run of Leverett. And Evan Jackson got to him first, a loss of 2, so 3rd down and 5 coming up. Loaded backfield again. Pitch left side, and we have a flag down before the play. And it looks like this one will be going against Weequahic. It is. So that completely changes the complexion of what Weequahic was doing. It'll be 3rd down and 9 now. That's going to give the 5 yards back. It'll be an offsides on Shabazz. That's from the left side of the line. Nafis Wright jumped the gun. So they reset the ball on the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Give up the gut. Robert Leverett threw for 1st down, and they've got Tyler Phillips in at quarterback now. And the freshman Jerron Phillips on the sideline. Tyler, wide receiver and defensive back on this team. He's the man under center now with the way this offense struggled in the 1st quarter. 1st down at the 47. Phillips give again to Leverett. We'll have a flag. Right at the 45-yard line. And that one is going to go back. It's a holding penalty on Weequahic. So because it's a spot foul, that'll back it up. 1st down and 21. Leverett. God, maybe 2 there. You know, and they've just been kind of shooting themselves in the foot all day, have Weequahic. Get some good yardage, then a penalty. A couple of turnovers in the 1st quarter that led to 2 Shabazz touchdowns. And Shabazz will take a timeout, it looks like. Take it back. We had an illegal substitution. Second and long as we move inside. 3.5 minutes to go. Ball is down on a low snap, and Weequahic just falls on top of it. So they're able to avoid the turnover, but Tyler Phillips, that thing was out of shoelaces by the time it got to him. Well, Weequahic won a championship on this field, defeating Shabazz last year. Capping off a perfect season, Shabazz trying to return the favor, and right now they've got the reins on this game, a 21-0 lead, and it's 3rd and a mile for Weequahic, and another botched snap, and the ball's to the turf again. A battle for it, but it looks as though Weequahic will hold on to it. Nazir Peters. And now they're going to say Shabazz ball. It looked like Peters had it first, but good job by Shabazz. I didn't see who was at the bottom of that pile, just ripping it out of Peters' hands by the time the officials were able to come over there. And the Bulldogs will have it with 2:25 to go in the first half. A 21-0 lead, and it'll be 1st and 10 on the Weequahic 21-yard line. They switch sides. Fields goes to Travis's right. They gave his to Fields to the left side. Weequahic sniffs it out. Tackled by Quaison Horn. Travis looking down to the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Sean Saunders. Brings up 3rd down and long. Third down and 12. Harbin into the game at tailback. Travis looking over the middle, floats a ball, caught by Nazir Collins. Collins making a nice adjustment, turning his back to the end zone, going up and snatching that ball. And the 3rd Weequahic turnover leads to the 3rd touchdown off those turnovers for Shabazz. Santos' kick is good. He remains perfect on the day for PATs. And it's all Shabazz in this first half, leading Weequahic 28-0 with 1:26 to play in the first half. Ball picked up at the 25-yard line by Leverett. And a flag down. It looked like there was a face mask on the Leverett tackle.
Number 17, Cummings, Cummings, and number 30. Combined on the hit. Flag is down. Get the block in the back.
It's a block in the back. So Weequahic, they do get the ball to begin the second half, so they'd like to get something positive here to end the first half. Gain of about 2 on first down. They're out of timeouts. Shabazz showing blitz. Able to limit the gain on the Leverett carry. Third and 5. Some trouble for Weequahic. Incomplete pass and another flag down. There's Tyler Phillips, and now we have another late flag after that. Well, there's been getting progressively irritable, it seems, both teams. It was only an illegal man downfield. I saw that second flag, and I thought maybe something happened after the play that I missed. But the penalty is going to be declined. It's fourth down. And with just 4 seconds left, they'll probably just run it to take the remainder of the time off the clock. Remember, they're out of timeout, so they're looking a little discombobulated now, but Phillips is going to go back into the punt formation. And Shabazz has nobody back to return it. They were expecting this. Phillips going to run it. The time will run out on the first half, and it's been all Shabazz in the first half, creating 3 Weequahic turnovers, 3 touchdowns off those turnovers. And a 28-0 lead for the Bulldogs at halftime. Shabazz trying to cap off an undefeated season and move to 12-0 on the year. And they're a half away from doing it. In control right now, 28-0. Cool moment right before we begin the second half. On our side of the field, this is the Weequahic fan side. The Shabazz side is on the opposite sideline. And the Shabazz and Weequahic cheerleaders did a cheer together. And the Shabazz cheerleaders are at least staying on this side of the field for now. The Shabazz band put on one heck of a show at halftime. They had the kick line, the dance team, and some of the trumpeters were dancing along with that. A little mishandled ball on the snap, or on the kick, pardon me, by Tyler Phillips. And Weequahic has the ball to begin the second half. They trail 28-0. Shabazz leads. They scored 3 touchdowns in the opening half off of 3 turnovers. There was 2 fumbles and an interception. And largely, I mean, the interception was not the best throw, but Shabazz made a nice play on it. The fumbles have been really unforced errors, the 2 of them. They were a low snap and a botched exchange. Shabazz just made the most of it. Toss out to the right side for Bruton. Bruton out across the 35. Good gain on first down of 5. But we got a flag down. And this was a theme for Weequahic in the first half. Almost any time they had a play of positive yardage, there was something to drive them back, whether it was a hold on that same play or an illegal procedure on the pre-snap of the next play. And again, this was the number 1 seed of this bracket. It's playing some very undisciplined football at really the worst possible time in the championship game. So spot foul brings it back to the 17-yard line. And they have to get to the 42 for a first down. So now it's 2nd and 25. After no gain on first down. Again, those things, especially begin the second half, when you're beginning a drive, it's just an absolute killer when you're trying to get something going. Running up the gut, and it's taken care of by David Ordison. Now looks like the Weequahic cheerleaders are returning the favor. They're walking over to the other side so they can cheer together for the Shabazz fans in attendance. Ball out to the 20. It's 3rd down and 22. A whistle and a timeout by Weequahic. They had just 10 men on the field. And again, hate to harp on it, but you'd think in a championship game, they're not playing disciplined football. There's been too many little mental miscues like that. That is going to lead to exactly the result that we're seeing right now, 28-0 with Shabazz leading. And a bit of a surprise considering when these two teams played 10 days ago, it was as close as you could get. It was a 7-0 game that Shabazz won. But defensively, both those teams were strong a little over a week ago. So following the timeout, it's 3rd down and long. And the freshman and a quarterback overthrows his intended target. I am Venable. Another penalty marker down. That looked like it came down after the play, though. Illegal man downfield, that is declined. Well, the Shabazz band has regained their perch in the left-hand far corner of the stands. And they are back to being a boisterous bunch. Kick away. Bounces at the midfield line and rolls all the way to the 35, where Shabazz will take over. So all four of Shabazz's touchdowns have come via a short field. 4 times today, the Bulldogs have began in Weequahic territory. This is actually their worst starting field position since their first possession of the game, when they had a bit of a calamitous start. They had 2 pre-snap penalties, tackle for loss. Nazir, Collins, Carr, and Mapp all move to the right side. They run it left side, and some running room out across the 45, close to a first down for Dejon Carr. So 2nd down and 1 as Shabazz gets a nice pickup on first down. Carr out, David Artisan in. Been so impressed with Artisan from the defensive side of the ball. He comes in as more of a blocking fullback. High snap. Taylor able to give it off to Fields. Fields, little stutter step and hammered from behind, but 2 big runs to begin this drive for Shabazz as they are back in to Weequahic territory. Run to the right side for Fields. Run up the middle, another first down for Shabazz. We've played a few minutes into this 3rd quarter. Shabazz has just controlled every facet of the game now, and they go right to the ground again. Fields. This is the most effective we've seen their run game so far. A couple of their touchdowns coming through the air. At the same time, they've not really had an opportunity to showcase sort of a long style drive because of the short field that they've had today. As Anthony Travis, hard snap, gets a little motion out of the Weequahic line just to see what they're doing defensively. Weequahic will take it. He'll throw right side, fade route towards the end zone, incomplete. Trying to find Collins. It went through his hands. Not a bad idea on 2nd down and 4. Especially considering this point in the field, it's really 4-down territory. Probably not going to kick from where you are. On 2nd and 5, Fields, a little wiggle. Fields to his right. Gains a few, but he's going to be short of the 1st down. It'll be 4th down and about 2. Fourth down and 2. It's a long 2, though. 6:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. 28-0, Shabazz leading. Yusef Mapp, a senior, brought in as an extra fullback. Harbin as well. Fields the deep back. They gave his to Harbin. Harbin into a little delayed run, and it's going to be short. So Shabazz will turn it over on downs. Give the ball back to Weequahic. So nice job by the Weequahic defense to bend but not break. First and 10 from their own 19-yard line. Run up the middle in a gain of 2. And on offensively, Weequahic is not a team that's really designed to offensively be in a hole like this. They started a freshman quarterback, Jerron Phillips, today. But Phillips has kind of been in and out. Go with more of a deep backfield, and it's Tyler Phillips at quarterback. And because they're rotating in so many guys at quarterback, you wonder also if that's contributing to some of these pre-snap penalties like we just had again. So 2nd down and 12 following the penalty. Phillips give to the right side for Bruton. It's a pickup of 3, 3rd down and 9. The freshman Jerron Phillips back in under center. Phillips steps up, nowhere to go, sacked. Back at the 15-yard line, a loss of 5. Well, unfortunately for Jerron Phillips, it seems like once he's in the game, especially when he's under center, Shabazz really dials up the defense. It's the third time he's been sacked today. High snap. Phillips able to get the kick away, though. Sidewinding kick. Takes a Weequahic bounce and rolls all the way to the 46. That thing hit the turf at around the 35, so it got an 11-yard bounce. First down and 10, give to Fields. Fields is getting into a bit of a rhythm now in this second half. 3:35 to go in the third quarter, 28-0. Shabazz leading. Shabazz trying to cap off a perfect season, a 12-0 season, and win their first title since 2014, which at that time was the first in school history. A win over Dunellen. Darnell Grant seeing his team put together an impressive performance today. Pass the left side, incomplete, and it'll go out of bounds anyway, but it would not have been a fumble. Dwan Carr just a tad out of his reach. So that brings up 3rd down and 6. Give to Fields. Fields dancing around, out of one tackle. Fields running to his right, still on his feet. Fields has a first down. Well, some excellent agility by the senior running back, Michael Fields. That gives them a fresh set of downs. And the first of 4 games today from Kane, a first of 12 overall. Starting alongside this one were Hillside and Point Pleasant Barrow from Rutgers, and Voorhees and West Essex over at MetLife. The rest of the slate today from Kane. Well, it looks like that Voorhees-West Essex game may have gone final. The rest of the slate today, St. Joe's Montvale against DePaul Catholic. Might be the big one of the day. Point Pleasant Beach against Middlesex, and Pompton Lakes taking on Hasbrook Heights. Had a little motion. I think we're getting offsides as it looked like Sean Saunders jumped early, the wide receiver. Brings up 2nd down and 12. We got Travis running. Travis hit as he throws. Complete touchdown to Sean Saunders. So Saunders, who just had jumped off sides a moment ago, Anthony Travis hung in tight, was able to hit his wide receiver down. And Aldair Santos on for the PAT. Santos, a senior, little hesitation. Santos knocks it through. And Shabazz takes a 35-0 lead in the final minutes here of the third quarter. Again, coming up after this game, it is the rematch of DePaul Catholic and St. Joe's Montvale. It was St. Joe's in the regular season, a 28-21 come-from-behind victory over DePaul. St. Joe's has won 13 straight games against DePaul, dating back to 1974. Kick taken at the 15 by Phillips. Make it Levert, and Levert just hammered, and we'll have another flag. See what the call is. And that's going to go against Shabazz on a personal foul. Well, clock winding, inside 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. All Shabazz in this one, 28-0. 3 passing touchdowns today for Anthony Travis. A run up the middle, rolling off. A tackle was Bruton, and the best run of the day for Bruton. Pickup of 12. So the final seconds of the third quarter tick off. And Weequahic continues the drive. When we come back, Shabazz just 12 minutes away from their second sectional title in school history.
First and 10, Indians at their own 46.
We begin the fourth quarter, incomplete pass. Remember, with the 35-point advantage in the second half, time does run. So Weequahic was trying to get rid of that in a hurry. Went up the middle for about 4 yards. So Weequahic will have 3rd and about 6 coming up.
Third and 5 for the Indies at the Bulldogs side of midfield.
Play goes for a loss. It'll be 4th down as the freshman Teron Phillips continues to take a beating.
Covered by the Indians.
The Weequahic band playing in some of the Shabazz players sort of jumping and dancing in rhythm to it while on the field. Good solid kick. It'll be down at the 15-yard line. Shabazz takes over, 1st and 10 from the 25. And when you look at, our player of the game, there's some options here. Anthony Travis, I think he's only been 4 or 5 passing, but 4 of those all 4 of those completions have been for touchdowns. Fields has done well defensively. I mean, you could really give it to somebody on the defensive side of the ball for Shabazz. David Ortison had a couple of big sacks. Forced a fumble. We got a flag down though, and so maybe going against Shabazz. Well, Michael Field started to be, it looked like he was either a little annoyed or a little frustrated with the penalty call. Nasir Collins ran over to him, gave him a hug, and had a couple of words for him in the side of his helmet, almost as if to say, look, no reason really to get upset here. We don't want to do anything silly. We've got a huge lead. We've got just a few more minutes left. This one's in the bag as long as we can keep our heads about us. So no reason to lose your cool over something. So they still say first down. They replay the down after the penalty. Travis give left side for Ordenson. And Ordenson getting up after a positive pickup of 11 yards. And Ordenson has been the leader of this defense all year long. Getting a little carry on the offense. He's had a couple of big runs today. Flag down. Fields still tracking with the ball. Another flag down. Fields following the block of his wide receiver upfield. He stepped out of bounds though. I think this one's coming back though. Maybe not one, but two holds on that play. So the ball back to the 35-yard line after all that. Again, it was a very inauspicious start for Shabazz. They had two penalties on their first possession. They went 3 and out. Here's Fields up the gut. Inside 4 minutes remaining in the game. Well, we got the fans getting ready for the next game. I don't know if those are the St. Joe's fans, the DePaul fans on the far side. There's a big group of them that just came in white t-shirts. And they're showing their support because they're on the Shabazz side of the field. They're chanting, "Let's go Bulldogs." Third down coming up for Shabazz. And this will be the second title for the Bulldogs in school history, second in 4 years, winning back in 2014. Taylor, they looked a little lost and uncertain as to what was going on there, as Taylor hit hard. That'll bring up 4th down, and Shabazz will punt. 2 minutes left in the ball game. High snap. Recovered though nicely. A nice job by Shakur Williams to keep that alive. And not only that, able to get off the kick without turning the ball over. So with the clock running, only 1:20 left to this one. And Weequahic will just run a couple of plays. Did not go their way today. Shabazz forced them into some unseemly turnovers and then capitalized every single time. 4 turnovers today and 4 touchdowns off turnovers. Much different look from when these two teams met just 10 days ago, where Shabazz won 7-0 in a low-scoring game. Freshman Phillips back in. Phillips will hand off to Bruton. And Bruton taken down at the 35-yard line, and that may be the last play of the game. Officials talking, and the Shabazz sideline celebrating. We'll see if Weequahic has to run another play. Well, it doesn't matter. Fields already down the other side of the field with his helmet off. He's celebrating. Shabazz completes the undefeated season. The first time they have done so since 1966. A little revenge from last year. 12-0 for the Bulldogs. $35-0 the score. 4 turnovers today for Weequahic. 4 touchdowns off turnovers for the Bulldogs. And they defeat their rival in a rematch of the Soul Bowl 35-0.